What's up, replayers? Welcome to the room. Welcome to the room. You've got questions. I've got answers. Listen up, guys. Listen up, listen up. If you want to follow me on social, there are my social handles. Diaz. What's up, guys? Hello, hello. Alright, listen up. I want everybody right now to get out a sheet of paper and a pencil. Very important scope. I'm going to make it as quick as possible. Thank you for the invitations. Thank you for the invitations. Alright guys, so while people are still getting in the room, a couple updates. Guys, with the system and the back end, okay, you got to understand, do not invite your friends with your password, alright? If two people try to log in with the same password, it is tracked. Your IP addresses are tracked, and I instantly get an email. And I am tracking who's doing that. You gotta understand that I am in this technology game very deeply. I take this very... okay, yeah. So basically what happens is it can sense when there are multiple logins from different IP addresses. So it is tracking that as an anti-fraud, as a anti-fraud type of technology. Declan, what the hell are you talking about? Anyways, now listen up. I want everybody to get a piece of paper and pencil out, or a pen. I don't care what you write with, but what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to do a quick recap of the week, and then I want to talk about something that's going to be very important for all of you guys in terms of life going forward, okay? Because I've been getting a lot of emails, not necessarily about the system, but about people asking me about my advice on things, okay? Yeah, no problem. In that case, get in the habit, guys. Whenever you log into a back end of any type, make sure if you're on one device and you're going to switch devices, log out on one device and then log in on another device. Why is that important? Because especially if you're doing your banking online, okay, in terms of security, people can do what's called snooping your Wi-Fi, and they can actually get into your accounts if you don't log out. So whenever you log into a backend of any type, especially if it's banking or financial related, okay, banking, your brokerage, all right, don't just exit out the tab, all right? You are still technically logged in. Yes, you are still technically logged in if you just exit out the tab, okay? Until the system logs you out on the receiving end, you are still technically logged in, and people can snoop your IP and get into your account. So that is a security measure, okay? Get into that habit. Whenever you switch devices or something like that, if you were logged in on one, log out and then log back in on another device. Other common security measures are multiple login failures from a single IP, multiple login failures from dual IPs to try to get into the same account, multiple credit card transactions that are turned down. These are all security things that will block you out of the system, or any system. All right, this is going to happen. This is a cybersecurity thing. So security is only going to get a lot more strict going into the next 5 years. So be mindful of that. Start making good security habits when you log in and get online right now. All right, guys. So recap for the week. Okay. Let's go over the recap for the week. First of all, this week was sideways as hell. There weren't too many opportunities until today. Today we had some volatility, and let me show you that. So Prime took a good run right here. We went long. We captured this run, and unfortunately, I stepped in and I actually got people out when this started retracing. We went in at 1088. It retraced, and I said, you know what? I don't like it. I manually went in and got people out. Prime still said that there were long plays to be had, and sure enough, I should not have stepped in. That is my fault. I stepped in to make sure that you guys weren't in too much risk, but Prime knew what was up, and guess what? We got a spike, just like I said, past the 1300 level. And I'm sorry that I stepped in. I should have trusted the system. Yeah, Scott, you know, the thing is that this volatility is actually going to make the system learn, because it's artificial intelligence. Every single day it's going to get smarter. All right? But now here's the thing. Make sure in times of low volatility, you should not have normal lot sizes. Okay? In times of either extremely high or extremely low volatility, you should reduce your lot sizes to 50%. Does that make sense? Right. Yeah, the jumping in and out is not a problem. It's the timing of the jumping in and out. And, you know, the thing is that if we can time it correctly, it's still profitable. So, you know, we see that Prime took the correct stances. You know, Prime went long at 1274, and we missed a 30. That was the 30 pip opportunity right there. And then, of course, short, long, short. I mean, Prime knew what it was doing. The system works. It's just that basically when we had this here, I said to myself, you know what, I'm calling it a day, because for whatever reason the system is not working as intended. However, I was wrong. The system is working perfectly fine. It's just that I was not patient and letting it form this candle and then go off. So this weekend, I am actually making updates to the system in terms of the rules, and I will make a video on the trading rules in terms of the entries and the exits and when they should be taken and when they should not be taken. Does that make sense? You know, last week we killed it. Thank you, Diaz. Thank you, Scott. This is my proprietary algorithm. It's based on artificial intelligence. It's called FX Prime. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. I've got more videos on deck for you guys. And a lot of them are going to cover the little things that I just talked about. Basically, like when there is either too much volatility or too little volatility, you have to reduce your lot size. All right? You never trade with the same lot size regardless of the circumstances in the market. So whenever their circumstances are good and things are looking like they're trending, it's for neither. It's for neither. What we do is we trade based upon what the algorithm takes in terms of longs and shorts, which are neither scalps nor swing trades. Most of the trades are much larger profits than scalps, but they're not held as long as swings. Essentially, the algorithm is determining when to take these positions based upon a plethora of data points. So, you know, I think, what does this week illustrate? This week illustrates that, obviously, when it comes to money management, if you don't have a good amount of volatility, if it's not in that mid-range where the volatility is kind of normal, right? Not too high of volatility and not too low, then reduce the lot sizes. All right? Because your chances to profit are going to be reduced anyways. Does that make sense? And I got to tell you, I'm pissed off at myself for stepping in and manually overriding, because I got you guys out here. All right? And then right afterwards, this shot up. We had 2 hours of gains right afterwards. So, that is my fault. I apologize for stepping in. I should have let the system do its thing because the system is what works. And I will tell you this, every single time that I question the system, I get slapped in the face. And so I don't want to get slapped in the face anymore. If the system says that the short or long should be taken, I'm just going to let it flow. You got it? Yeah, the website is fitbusinessman.com. However, that's just going to bring you to a landing page, okay? If you're interested in tagging along on these trades and getting the alerts as they come out, okay, you can send me an email to info@fitbusinessman.com. Spence, you're right, man, you're on point. And you can just tell me your first name, last name, your handle on Periscope, your username on Periscope, and just a one-paragraph introduction as to your trading history, your trading background, and how, following a system would help you. All right, I have to know how things are going to help you. I have to know what spectacles you're viewing this from in order to actually help you. And it is invite only, so not everybody gets in, guys. I've had to turn down so many people today, it's not even funny. It's funny, like I'll get an email where someone asks if they can be let in, and in that same email, them be completely rude, saying, things that that go against. If you were asking someone to help you make money, you shouldn't be saying. Put it that way. It's going to be a 7-day trial for anybody who signs up. 7 days you get to trade with us for free, and then it's $97 a month continually on a continuity basis every 30 days. Now, last week, we were killing the markets. We walked away over 500 pips. This week, very flat. Literally flat. I don't think we made anything this week, and we didn't lose anything. Right. Guys, if this was easy, let me tell you, this is not easy. This is not easy. We may be flat this week, but I guarantee you that every single other mentor, I guarantee you their students blew up their accounts. And we're flat this week. And in that sense, being flat when there's no opportunity is a position in itself. You can be flat when there's no opportunity. Let me give you guys, you know what I want to give you? I'm going to look up the best quote that I can give you that represents this week. It's on my Instagram account. Yeah, just your background to see kind of, where you're at with everything. Make sense? I have no idea who that is. So how is everybody tonight? Excellent. When it comes to trading strategy, guys, it's constantly dynamic. It's constantly dynamic. The trading strategy that we had last week, which was based on volatility, we smashed the market. This week, we tried to apply that same mentality, and it did not work because the market was sideways. Now, we can look back in hindsight, which everybody does, and say, well, maybe we should have traded a different currency pair. But the fact of the matter is that nobody knew that this week was going to be sideways like this. Nobody. Right? Now, let me show you what I was talking about. This is on my Instagram. Success is having the capital to take risk when risk is worth taking. Everybody should be screenshotting this. Everybody should screenshot this because this is the mantra of a trader. This is the mantra of a trader. You made a few pennies. Good for you, bro. So this is the mantra of a trader. Success is having the capital to take risk when risk is worth taking. Now, obviously, there are going to be certain points where risk is not worth taking. And in that situation, if you don't have a system, and this system, guys, this is an artificial intelligence system. It's going to learn how to trade in these sideways markets. It's going to learn how to do that. Because every time a new data point is added, it gets smarter. That's the whole point of this. And that's the power in this. Now, going into it, was the risk worth taking? We didn't lose. We didn't net lose. So obviously it was worth taking. It's just that the moves were not big enough in most cases. Hello. To cover the spreads. And that sometimes happens in the system. Baki, I'm online pretty much every single day. You know, and like so many people say, why are you on Periscope so much? Why are you on Periscope so much? It's like, dude, if you recognize that you have a golden goose, and that golden goose only lays eggs if you feed it, aren't you going to feed that thing until it's stuffed every single time? You got to take use of opportunity when it's staring you in the face. Yeah, in regards to London. Yeah, guys. So this weekend, let me tell you what I'm doing, okay? This week, I'm going to scan all the major currency pairs, and I'm going to compare the movements to what happened in the euro. All right? Now, part of what FX Prime does is we can look back and see how the volatility is changing in relation to different currency pairs. If you're in London, no problem. No problem. I'm on multiple times throughout the day. Sometimes I catch, the London session if I'm up late. Which is every single night this week, I pulled an all-nighter, which is a record for my body. I hope I don't have to do that next week. Next week, I plan on getting on a schedule, and that's actually going to be one of the videos that I talk about is, how does one as a trader make their schedule go in line with the markets, okay? Because these markets are open 24 hours, but they tend to only move during certain hours. Yeah, so for the guys that are members, for the guys and gals that are members, look for the video that's going to talk about time management and scheduling. I'm making an entire video on how to schedule your time for the day because it's that important. It really is that important. And this is not some hypothetical bullshit because I actually went and researched the daily schedules of some of the most successful CEOs in the world. So whenever I'm presenting things to you guys, I'm actually going and I'm researching the people that are getting it done, that have the least time possible available, as well as money managers, but CEOs from all different walks of business. How do they manage their time? That's going to be a video as well. Alibaba CEO, yeah. And you know, the thing is guys, what you're gonna see, and be open to what I'm saying right now, okay? Technology is changing the landscape of businesses worldwide. Worldwide. You know, if you look at the culture of most startups, okay? Do you know at most startups they do not drug test, right? Let me just give you an example, because I actually do consulting for a few friends that that needed career direction recently. Okay, very smart guys. Okay, so they had the option of choosing between working for a bank and being coders at a bank, and going to a startup and being coders for a startup. Now the salary was pretty comparable, both six-figure salaries, straight out of college, very smart guys, great grades. So on paper, very employable from a paper standpoint. So they asked me, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should go work for the bank, or do you think I should go work for a startup? Now here's the thing. You go work for a bank, it's a very corporate environment. You're wearing a tie, you're wearing your dress shoes, you're wearing your dress clothes. You're walking through the city in your fucking dress shoes. Alright? Which doesn't sound like much. But I promise you, go to New York City and walk 20 blocks in dress shoes. I don't care if you're spending $5,000 on dress shoes. Your feet are going to be beat up if you do that on a daily basis. And you have to. Now, we take it to the startup culture, where they don't drug test you. Okay? So if you have a lifestyle where you are into partying, especially as a young guy, definitely a plus. Right? Startups tend to give you a % equity, especially if it's a new startup. So now you have possibility of equity ownership in the thing that you're building. 1% equity in Facebook, and I would not be on this, well, actually I might be on this Periscope with you guys. I'd probably still fucking be trading. But the point is that, you know, if you had a 1% equity in Facebook, Ash, what's up? You can catch the replay, the beginning. But we're basically doing a recap of the week, and we're talking about technology. So you get that 1% equity in the business, and what's happening is startups are starting to sweeten the deal and change the business landscape. Okay, and there are a lot of people and a lot of technology coming into the world, and people are getting more used to having non-traditional schedules. People are getting more used to having non-traditional workplaces, okay, where, you know, the work is done remotely, remote teams. You know, guys, if I wanted to, listen to this. Tomorrow, if I wanted to, I could take a flight out to Amsterdam. Right. I could take a flight out to Amsterdam, and for $200 a night, stay in a houseboat in Amsterdam and trade from fucking Amsterdam on a river for $200 a day. And have it booked in one day. And there's no other time in history where you could do something like that. So we got to understand that the technology landscape is changing dramatically. Dramatically. And so what we're staring at here is just the natural morphology of where business is going. Not this me. You know, does that make sense? And so we've got all these dynamic things happening. We've got all these currency issues. We've got all the economic issues. But then simultaneously, we have this huge amount of leverage being created by technology. It's a very interesting landscape. And you know, if I could just give you one piece of advice, it would be become very concerned with technology. If you're not reading about technology on a daily basis, you're going to be left behind, I promise. I promise you, you will be left behind if you're not reading about technology on a daily basis, starting right now. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So listen, that's the weekly recap. All right. Next time I will not step in. And is Instagram useful? Yes. I bet. So become very concerned with technology going forward, guys. All right. Yeah, all technology. I'm telling you, social technology is changing the way that it's changing the marketing and advertising landscape. Yes, that's true, Scott. And what's happening is it's becoming a battle as to, especially when it comes to security. You know, before, like, the site that you guys are on, all right, I had to do a bunch of security updates with PCI and all these, you know, security threat testing and all this shit, and I didn't even have a site that was fully functioning. You know what I mean? And just to get it going was such a hassle from a technology perspective because there had to be so many security updates. It was insane. Now, of course, you know, it's good because going forward, I won't have to worry about doing all those updates because now I'm ahead of most of the sites at this point. But it just goes to show you that, you know, security is probably going to be at the forefront of technology going forward because it's growing so fast that we don't know how to handle it. So here's why I wanted you guys to get out your pen and paper, okay? When we first hopped on, the point is this: I've gotten a lot of emails of people asking me what I think about certain things, and I'll be returning those emails within a few minutes of getting off of this scope. But on that piece of paper, I want you to draw 3 circles that overlap. Okay? 3 circles that overlap in the middle. I'm self-taught. Self-taught, Jay. We're basically going to make a Venn diagram, okay? But with 3 circles. You guys know how to do that? Okay. I'm finding an image of what it should look like. Whoop. That's what we're after right there. So draw that on your sheet of paper. And each of these circles is going to represent a different thing. But this area is what we're going to be concerned of. So in the one circle, I want you to label it at the top on the first line, what the market needs. In this circle, you're going to label it what I am exceptionally good at. That's good, Mason. In the bottom circle, what will make me money? And you're going to start brainstorming. Because a lot of people emailed me and they seem really confused with how trading essentially fits into their life in terms of goals. All right, and I think there's a few important concepts that we need to understand. The first is that you need risk capital to trade. Okay, if you're not yet at the point where you have risk capital, there's nothing wrong with learning, not at all. The sooner you learn, the better. I wish I had started learning this stuff, you know, as soon as I could. Before I was in high school would have been optimal. But if you're not yet there, then your focus absolutely needs to be on creating income for yourself. How much can you start trading with? You can, you know, I wouldn't suggest starting with under $1,000. But it depends on the account. Because the money could be leveraged, but leverage is always a double-edged sword. It goes for you and it goes against you with equal prejudice, which means it doesn't care. All right? So that's the first thing, okay? We want to make sure we have risk capital. The second thing is you want to really look at how this fits into your life in terms of your life goals, okay? Now, a lot of people, they jump online, and this is part of the reason why I got involved with Forex, because I got tired of seeing mentors pump trading and Forex up as some magical fucking fairy dust that can be applied to anybody's life. The fact is that this is the facts, okay? There are a million ways to make $1 million. A million ways, okay? I have a friend, one of my good friends, he makes over $1 million a year manufacturing waffles. Fucking waffles. Okay? But he's a really damn good fucking waffle maker. He's the best. He honestly is. Now, here's the thing. Learning about finance at any point in your life is only going to make you a very, very skillful person. Okay? There's so much that trading teaches you from a perspective of risk and reward, from a perspective of learning how compounding works, from a perspective of daily use of quick math and calculations and daily exercising of the mind in terms of strategy development. That is so healthy for your mind. It is so healthy for your abilities going forward if you learn about finance in a trading capacity, but also as well as others. No, I don't. No, I don't, Mason. Like, your mind needs that type of exercise to form the neural webbing in your mind that is actually going to get you thinking differently. This makes you think differently. When you trade, you will, within 1 to 2 years, literally look at the entire world differently. Yeah, that's what I thought of. I thought of Lego My Ego. Yeah, I'm assuming that he was the Eggo waffle guy. So what did he do? He sold it to Kellogg's? I think Kellogg's owns it, right? Hey, don't laugh. When you do something exceptionally well... Oh, that's funny. I'm wondering if it was at one point someone's individual business and they sold it to Kellogg's, though. So, you just need to sit back and you need to realize that, you know, there are certain types of information that are worth much more than others. Financial and technological information right now are leading the way. If you have financial information and you have technology information, I can assure you that at some point you will get a breakthrough. It's only a matter of time, because that's where everything is trending. And so if you start focusing your studies and your lifestyle and your interests where the world is heading in terms of demand, okay, you cannot lose. It's just a matter of time before you have a breakthrough. And so for all you guys out there, and I just wrote an email to a guy. I haven't sent it yet because I'm still proofreading it, but... Right. Sometimes the thing that makes the money isn't always what everybody's after. But supply and demand always rule the game, man. And the demand for technology and financial information going forward is only going to increase. I promise you that. It's only going to increase. So take a step back and start looking at your goals differently, right? The real goal, if you want to get money from trading and you're trying to capture alpha and you're trying to get that type of leverage, the real goal is not necessarily trading. The real goal is what comes from the trading, the financial freedom, the ability to properly assess the value of currencies, the ability to make decisions when under pressure. Most people cannot make decisions under pressure. I'll just tell you straight off the bat. I've seen some very, very smart people not be able to make a single decision under pressure. And there's going to also be a video on that where I explain why that happens. It has to do with something called working memory. Okay? So I'm also going to do a video on that and explain to you guys exactly how to make better decisions when under pressure. Because you can actually build that ability. It is not something you're born with. So sit down with your Venn diagram this weekend. Creatures of habit, right? Sit down with your Venn diagrams this weekend and take a good look at them and see how trading fits into that lifestyle. What are you exceptionally good at? What is the demand in the market, and what can you get paid to do that the market is going to pay you for? Because value is value, okay? If you take value anywhere, you'll get paid for it. If you take value anywhere, you'll get paid for it. But there has to be the value component. There has to be the value component. Right now, I could be going to a happy hour. Where I live, there are several bars with very, very, very cute bartenders. I could be going to those bars right now, but I'd rather be here with you guys because that is my goal, is to build the business for you guys and to give you guys more value for next week. Yeah, they're pretty hot. Federico, how many pips today? We're flat today, man. We made pips and then we lost them, and then I basically called the system off. Took the rest of the day off because I wanted to see exactly if we were going to break out of this range. We did break out of the range technically, but thanks, Ash. We did technically break out of the range, but going forward, I'd like to see that these Fibonacci levels and these SIG levels don't hold the price as well as they have been. I want to see more volatility. Thank you, Ash. And I enjoy doing it. Yeah, right now only one pair. Next week we'll probably start expanding into more than one pair. It's going to be a lot of analysis this week. And actually most of the pairs, we had lots of good movement and trending in a lot of other currency pairs. So I want to make sure that we do start addressing those pairs. But, the recap for this week is basically we took what we could, even though it wasn't much. Started the school pips today and baby pips. Cool. Cool. Yeah, Mason, the thing with gold is that a lot of beginners aren't going to have the ability to trade futures because they're not going to be able to have the initial margins. But I do plan on adapting Prime to other markets. I do plan on that, obviously. But the thing is that if you can, I'll tell you guys this. If a system can surgically remove pips from, one market consistently, at some point it can be applied to every market. That's the cool thing. That's the cool thing. We will get to that point. We will get to that point. And you can be sure of this, guys. You can be sure of this, that there in no way am I going to be, buying a fucking Ferrari or any of that shit soon. Why? Because I've already explained to you guys that the majority of all of the opportunities in technology right now, 100% of the funds that I make from this site go straight back into the technology. Literally, 100%. At no point do I plan on, being a frivolous person, because obviously that would be stupid. You're taking away time from the opportunity. This opportunity in the markets is not going to be here forever. Markets will be here forever, but they're eventually going to change. And I have no way of knowing, how much longer do I want to stay up and pull all-nighters to trade? You know what I mean? So obviously I want this technology to work as smoothly and as automated as possible. So that's the bottom line, is that the reinvestment factor right now is the most important thing for me. Essentially, you guys are basically crowdsourcing my all-nighters and adding to this technology. That's basically what you're doing. Yeah, I'm not sweating it, Mason. I've looked back and over a 10-year period, dude, I've back tested 10 years on Euro USD, and believe it or not, Prime did not make a single mistake. The only losses were due to the spreads. Is it better to trade by night if they're in the US? Generally, yes. Generally, the Euro has been acting really well, but today we had lots of movement. I got to go over some of the other charts, but today we had lots of movement in the Jappy and so forth. Yes, Scott, that's definitely in the future as well. The problem with that, guys, the problem with SMS messages is that there's always a delay. The carriers, I don't know if someone getting the delay is because they're out of their network or their phone switched from 4G to 3G. So what I may actually do is I'm looking into a few other things. I'm looking into a few other options. Yeah, Spence, that's actually one of the options I'm looking into. Well, Telegram is supposedly the fastest, right? So Telegram supposedly has the fastest messaging technology, and they do have an API. They do have an API, but the problem is that the problem is that Telegram's customer service is shit. I messaged them 2 days ago and they haven't gotten back to me. Now they are growing like crazy. They've got something like 1 million people joining Telegram a day. 1 million people a day. Alright, so I imagine that their customer service has probably got a backlog that's just unimaginable. I mean, their backlog is probably days or weeks at this point. So, I will look at it and I will determine if it's good. Obviously, we want zero lag or as close to it as possible. It's impossible to get zero lag because information traveling always has a delay. But I'm willing to bet that there's definitely room to be made there. There's room to be made there. There's room for greatness there. So we will find it. Isn't it amazing how many people pop in the room and give a demand without saying the fucking word please? Or thank you? If you're not listening to other people's charts. Yeah, Spence, that's always possible, but to be honest, that would be cutting myself short. Because, the fact of the matter is that leasing probably is not going to make as much if a platform leases it, they're probably going to try and give either a lump sum. Right. Obviously, my goal, like I said, this technology it applies to more than trading. To lease it away like that would be, I'll just be honest, I'd be leaving a lot of money on the table. A great deal of money on the table. So when it comes to the future development, I need to have 100% control over it. You know, coding in a way is creating intellectual property, right? And so I have 8 years of money stored up in this, just waiting to get out, that I didn't get paid for in terms of development. No problem, Ash. Thank you. Tribesman, what's up? Do people have to lease auto share? Can it be sent? I'm not sure. Like, in terms of other people's technology, I haven't had much. What's up, Tribesman? I haven't had much time to even explore it because I've been working on my own stuff so much. So, like, when you're focused, a lot of stuff goes by the wayside. Like, this week, I didn't even check my personal email for like 3 days. I'm kind of cringing, knowing that I'm going to have to go back and check all those emails, because my business email is taken over. But, you know, the thing is like right now, Friday night, thank you for the invite. There's not too many people that are going to jump on this scope, but I just wanted to give you guys a recap and let you guys know that, yes, in fact, Prime did perform. I should have kept my mouth shut and not sent out and not overridden the sell right here, because we were still holding when this price came down and it popped 35 pips. We popped from 1274 to 1316. So we had a 40 pip jump right after I overrode the system because I thought Prime was wrong. Thank you, Federico. Appreciate it. Appreciate the feedback. And you know what, guys? The best thing that you can do in terms of a testimonial for me is if you just write a 1-sentence, email me. If you guys enjoy anything that I say, just email me 1 sentence and tell me what it is. And, you know, just write your first name. You don't even have to write your last name. I'm open to feedback. It's only going to help me. On your system. Spence, can you rewrite that first part? The orders themselves, I put in. Basically, I have the option to allow them to go in automatically or manually, but I always do it manually. You know, there are certain aspects of de-risking, and part of it is you know, you lessen risk when you have kind of like a dual safety stop. It could be, but I wouldn't want it to be honest. A la Knight Capital. You guys know what I'm talking about. Auto trading is a great thing until your auto trader goes out of whack. You know? I mean, you got to think of this, all right? Knight Capital, they were losing $10 million a minute on trades. $10 million a minute on trades. Because their algorithm went fucking haywire and they had one open loop in their code that someone forgot to close. So, like, literally one line of code that was faulty caused $450 million in losses. So the thing with auto trading is it works very well when it's working. But the second it screws up, it screws up. So that's why I'm always manually approving everything. You know, the trades, the alerts, everything I manually approve. As soon as As soon as Prime sends it, I'm manually approving it and just reading over it to make sure it's okay. Because there needs to be more than one stop, more than one safety stop, so to speak. It's all about controlling risk, guys. This is all controlling risk. That's all we're doing is controlling risk. We set it in a position, and then we control risk. And then we do it again, and then we control risk. And it's just the same cycle over and over and over. And if we do it well, we make bank every single week. There are always going to be a few instances where the stuff doesn't work or works very oddly. But we know over the long term that the system's winning because I back-tested it over 10 years, and the last 3 weeks we're up. Yes, Ash, that sounds good. What's that, Spence? Alright, that's one video that's coming out, okay? I'm going to explain it to you guys really quick. But I will be making the video this weekend for that. Spence, that's a good question. Let me go over it. Craig, no one has this. I have this. You can trade currency markets from anywhere, but this system is owned by me. Alright, guys. So, these are my alerts. Now, this particular alert, you guys need to pay attention, alright? Yeah, Craig. I coded the algorithm. Where it says buy to close plus buy, that means we were short the position previously. Now we're going to buy to close it, so that will close out the position, the short position, and then we're going to buy to go long at 1261. Do you guys understand that? I'm going to explain this in the video. I have to make it this weekend because I assumed that you guys knew what that would mean perfectly. So buy to close plus buy means we're buying to close out a short position, and then we're going long in addition to that. If it was just buy to close, that means just close out the position, and that Prime has not initiated a buy order necessarily. That means we're just taking profits on the previous position if it's just buy. Let me see if I can find one. Right here. Like if it's just buy to close, that means we just close out the short position. We sold, so we have to buy back to close. All right? Same thing reverse. Sell to open means we're selling the position to open. All right? So we sold the position here. We closed it about an hour and a half later. All right? But then we opened up a buy position. We went long. So we went short, we bought back, and then we went long. But I'll explain this in details in the video. Spence, you mean to tell me that you've been losing because because I didn't get that video out to you earlier? Oh man, I'm sorry. I should have asked you guys. I assumed that everybody knew what that was. Craig, this is going to be on the back end of the member area. If you're new to the room, basically you're staring at my proprietary algorithm which initiates shorts and longs in the currency markets. It gives out signals via SMS to tell you when to go long and when to go short. If you're interested in that service, it's a 7-day free trial followed by $97 monthly. Now, if you're interested in that, it's invite only. You can email me info. Spence, I'll have to look at that in a second. You can email me info@fitbusinessman.com with your first and last name, your Periscope handle, and just a one-paragraph summary of what you're doing with your trading, where you're at in your trading, your experience with trading. Nothing in depth, but just give me an idea of where you're coming from, and then I determine at that point whether or not you will be invited to the program. Make sense? Makes sense? Makes sense? All right, guys. So, there's not too many people on right now. Friday nights are usually dead because a lot of people do go out to the happy hour deal. However, I'm going to be answering a few emails. No problem, Craig. I'm going to be answering a few emails that you guys sent me, so look at your inboxes. Guys, just one more time before I log off here. Make sure that if you log into the back end and you're going to switch devices, make sure you log out of one device and then log into the other device. The back end for Prime does sense multiple logins, multiple IP address pings, and it does track where the security threat, so to speak, is essentially what it's trying to track is coming from. So your IP address will get emailed to me as soon as something like that happens. Ash, I'm definitely trading the euro next week. This week was a fluke week, but I'm looking to add a few currency pairs from the majors into that flow.
So I'm using a sponge to break apart.
No problem, buddy. No problem. But like I said, I will have a video. I have to diagrammatically put that into a video because there are a lot of people that haven't even traded before that are going to be looking at that text message and wondering what it is. And I don't want anybody losing just because the message is a little bit weird.
Which is the greatest.
No problem, Ash.
So the key to
Ash, did you want an invite to the program? If so, just email me. By the way, I'm returning your email shortly. I've already written it out. I just need to press send and proofread it.
acrylic is you can just keep layering it on and layering it on until you get it exactly the way you want. So the egg in the show has a bit of sheen to it. So I want to read
Actually, just let me know if you want an invite because I already have your email address.
acrylic and lightly brush it on just so we get that little bit of sheen, a little bit of pop, and add a little extra luster.
All right, guys. So listen up. Okay, sounds good. This is what I want you to do. Okay, becoming a great trader is a matter of routine. If we have a week where we went sideways, we didn't necessarily make as much as we could have made, but we didn't lose money. Not losing money means that you were either very exceptional at risk management or you have a system that works, or both, okay? You got to understand that the entire market is designed to siphon money away from you. That is the way it is designed. So when you're not losing money or you're making money, that means you have alpha. That means that you have a system that is working and that you should be proud of it and that you should definitely, going forward, not abandon your system. It's very, very easy for people that don't have a winning week to say, well, this week wasn't winning, I need to adjust my program. No, that's not the case. I told you I back-tested this over 10 years, so going forward, we will not be changing anything. I will be doing analysis on other currency pairs to make sure that we don't have times where we're not making profits. Yeah, risk management is the most important thing. I will be doing a video just on risk management as well. I plan on getting at least 2 more videos up this weekend for you guys. So we'll have 3 videos to review for you guys to review on Sunday night before going into the trading week next week. I believe that they will put you in the right mindset and get you going in the right direction. And so that's what I'm going to focus on this weekend. I will be available all weekend via email. As usual, customer service is absolutely the core of what I do, because especially with trading, you need to have open lines of communication. I've been very transparent with you guys in terms of how everything works, so I continue to plan on doing that. I don't need to really abandon and hide from people if they reach out to me on messaging. Right, like I said, anytime there's too little or too much volatility, we reduce our lot sizes by 50%. We continue with the same strategy, but we reduce the lot sizes. That's the only difference. When volatility is quote-unquote normal, that's when everything, lot sizes, we can keep the larger lot sizes. We can really go at it with trading, because that means there's some type of flow to the trading. And I will also explain that in a back-end video. All right, guys. Listen, review this scope. Again, make sure that if you have issues logging in with your IP or anything, then email me. Fit Businessman has a lot of security features in the back end that prevent fraud. That's done for your safety more than anything, even though it can be a little bit of a nuisance in the beginning. As long as you guys play by the rules, so to speak, and don't do anything that would be considered looking like a security threat, you shouldn't have any problems logging in or placing orders or anything like that. All right? But just keep in mind that security is there for your protection, so you know that your credit cards are safe and stuff like that. Yeah, no problem. Like I said, the key thing for people is going to be, if you log in multiple devices, just make sure you don't log in 2 devices at the same time. That's an instant security flag for any site. No problem, Ash. You too. I will be on tomorrow, guys. I will be on tomorrow. All right? So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the invites. The support means a lot to me. It pushes me. It makes me want more from this every single day, and so I appreciate it, guys. Okay? I want so much for this to be the thing that gets us going all in the right direction. And the fact is that I don't have to want it. It's already working. Have a great night, Scott. I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. We'll probably do a little bit of a motivational thing for tomorrow. We'll discuss the Venn diagrams again, and then we'll discuss a trading version of the Venn diagram. Make sense? All right. So, tomorrow we'll discuss a trading version of the Venn diagram. Between now and then, get some reading done. Hop on the Bloomberg currency site. Read those currency articles. And stay focused and stay positive. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.